Welcome back, and time now for our Faith Nation political panel. We're joined by veteran newsman Reince Suarez and CBN's chief political analyst David Brody. Both of you, good to have you this Monday. Ray, to you first. Regarding the sexual assault allegations against Joe Biden, do you think this is something he can weather politically, similarly to Trump in 2016?
It's going to have to be peeled back like an onion. We'll see what happens for the document search for the complaint against him that Tara Reade says she filed in 1993. We'll see if anyone else steps forward with either contemporaneous accounts. This is not something that's easily prejudged because there's so much that still needs to be known. But the Me Too movement has changed the landscape. It is not the kind of thing that you can just bottle up and make go away by a simple denial. We're past that point now.
David, President Trump is in a pretty interesting predicament here. Does he go after Biden in this area, considering some of the past allegations against him?
Well, the traditional play is for a presidential candidate that's had these type of issues in the past to not go after Biden. So therefore, he'll probably go after Biden because he's not traditional. So that's pretty much my take on it. Having said that, we already know that he's given Joe Biden, in a way, some advice to just kind of, like look at these allegations and say, just not true. I mean, it's just kind of interesting how Trump is giving Biden advice over this. But look, I think ultimately the campaign knows exactly what they have here, and they have a theme of hypocrisy is what they want to pretty much center in on. And we saw that in a campaign ad that basically hit Joe Biden on the Tara Reade situation and the Me Too movement on hypocrisy. And they figure if they can go hypocrisy on that issue, they can take it to a whole nother level on a lot of other different issues, too.
Now, Ray, the president has been criticized by Democrats for his handling of the coronavirus pandemic. The polling also not great for him there either. Could he lose the election over this, or is it too soon to say at this point?
Well, look, 69,000 people are dead. Those obviously are numbers that are in flux constantly and will come to rest who knows where before the curve finally gets forced down. But you've got two long-tail problems here, the economy and the number of deaths. Cross-hashing is going to fill in socially. So by the fall, everybody will know somebody who's had it, who's been sick, or somebody who's died. And once that kind of virality in the communication sense takes hold, and fewer people can hide out in the idea that it's not real, it's going to be a tough issue for him, and it's going to be hard to explain away because there's so much tape with him minimizing it from February and March, and it's just very, very dangerous for him at this point.
David, you just spoke with the president's former chief of staff, Reince Priebus, about Trump's handling of this crisis. We do have a clip of that. Let's go ahead and play that, and then we'll get your reaction.
The battle lines have been drawn. Republicans and Democrats agree that the president is going to be judged based on how this response to the coronavirus is going. And so the press and the Democrats have only one thing on their mind, which is to crush President Trump every day on his response to the coronavirus, whether it's fair, unfair, pure lunacy, or just made up. But they know that they have to try to destroy the president based on his response. The president is dealing with something that's never been dealt with in modern history, at least since 1950, right? I mean, so we are involved in something politically we've never been involved with. The president's doing everything that he can. I think he's doing a remarkably good job. And there's not any other interpretation is revisionist history. It's trying to go back to, oh, January, December, if only this, if only that. Well, guess what? No one thought that we'd be where we are today in February. And so I think this is what it's coming down to. The president's done a good job, but who knows what tomorrow brings, right? We don't know. It is an unprecedented time, unprecedented politics. And I think the Trump campaign, the RNC, and the president are doing absolutely everything they possibly can do every day to be successful in November.
David, your thoughts?
Look, Reince Priebus is exactly right in the sense that the media and the Democrats know that this could be Trump's kryptonite. I mean, in essence, this could be the end for Trump if he doesn't get this right. I think he's 100% right. I will just say this, and something to what Ray said earlier, which is, look, there might be some damaging quotes from Donald Trump on videotape about downplaying it, but let's also remember there's also some damaging quotes from Anthony Fauci downplaying it as late February, saying he didn't think it was going to be as big of a deal as it is today. So, look, I mean, that cuts both ways, and I think that ultimately this administration, even though the president said he won't be judged by the actual reaction to this and what the administration did, no, I think he will be judged for the reaction, and I think that will determine whether or not he gets a second term.
Ray, final thought.
The press can exaggerate or under-exaggerate or play off or ignore. There's over 1 million people who've been sick with this illness, and there are over 69,000 people dead, and there's just no way to talk your way out of that. The idea that the press is going to change the fact that there's 22 million new unemployed people, I'm not buying it. Reince Priebus can say that all he wants. Beat up on the press is an old play. Doesn't hold water.